a new trailer based on the Lord of the Rings Gollum, Population Zero with a population of 0, and a new Batman game without Batman. Welcome to Coffee and RPGs. My name is Solomon SK, where we cover the latest news, trends, and updates for the MMO and RPG gaming genre. If you guys got your coffee ready, let's go over these news together. Cheers to you guys. First, let's go ahead and cover some of the articles from GamesRadar.com. And as I said earlier, the Lord of the Rings Online Gollum trailer teaser is full of dead fish and fire. And I have to admit, when watching the trailer, there's something, dare I say, almost adorable about Gollum with this particular one. He has very baby-like features in my opinion, and I don't know where they're going with that. And I know this isn't necessarily a RPG of any type, but because the Lord of the Rings franchise is such a huge franchise, I wanted to cover it anyways. I personally didn't know too much about this game, but they do give a description, and according to IGN, the Lord of the Rings Gollum will mix Prince of Persia-like stealth action and feature a branching narrative. There will be stealth mixed with a vertical climbing parkour that will allow Gollum to sneakily take out enemies, even though this game is mostly non-combat. And as always, I will have a link to these articles down in the pinned comment section below if you want to take a look for yourself. And in their next article, Batman Gotham Knights gameplay trailer revealed at DC Fandome. And this is pretty cool news. I definitely was a fan of the Arkham series, but just a quick note, this game will actually have nothing to do with the Arkham series at all. None of the previous entries will actually have any relevancy to this particular title, so I'm not exactly sure if you want to call it a reboot, but it's a completely separate franchise or world or universe or whatever you want to call it. But we actually did get 2 pieces of content. This first one here is the actual reveal trailer itself, and the second one down here is the gameplay trailer itself. And if you are familiar with the Arkham series gameplay and mechanics, I feel like this is definitely going to be very similar just from the way it looks and the way it feels, in my opinion. And this isn't really spoilers because right off the bat it's already in the teaser, but supposedly Batman is dead in this particular game. But you know, there's still a lot of good things going for it, because in their next article it actually does get into the co-op version of the game, which sounds really exciting, but there are a few little disappointments, I guess you could say. But anyways, you could play as 4 characters, and you could play as Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, and Red Hood. And so you might expect there might be 4-player co-op, but unfortunately that's not the case. It's only going to be 2-player co-op. And if you're somebody who is expecting couch co-op, especially if you grew up during the 90s playing the old Final Fight or Streets of Rage, Double Dragon kind of stuff, unfortunately that's not going to be the case. There will be no split screen co-op. It says that the co-op experience that will only be available as an online cooperative experience. And as I said earlier, I'll have a link to these particular articles so that you could view the trailers yourselves. It's definitely one of those things where it's just better to watch than me explaining it, just because they're pretty awesome trailers. Next, we got one article from PCGamer.com. Cyberpunk 2077 will have free DLC like The Witcher 3, and this is no surprise because CD Projekt Red is definitely known for the companies that give you or add as much value to the money that you pay for. And when The Witcher 3 came out, it actually released 16 free DLC packs in the following 3 months, and it looks like Cyberpunk 2077 will be no different. Next, we got one article from MMOculture.com, and if you're a fan of Summoner's War, they're doing a crossover event with Street Fighter V, and if you want to take a look, they do have the designs for the game of the Street Fighter characters, if you want to take a look. Next, we got a few articles from MassivelyOP.com, and the first one here, World of Warcraft kicks off a new animated series, Afterlives, starting on Thursday, and this is obviously in preparation for their Shadowlands update that's coming out later this year. Instead of rambling on and on about a bunch of stuff that I potentially don't know because I haven't played World of Warcraft since Wrath of the Lich King, they are going to release this animated series during Gamescom 2020, which is this Thursday. And in their next article, Supremacy 1 is a new mobile game and a browser MMORTS coming to Steam. And this game is actually a spin-off from the MMO called Supremacy 1914. And if you're into MMORTSs that are taking place during the World War I era, then you definitely have something to look forward to. And in their next article, Population Zero's player base dwindles into single-digit territory as the devs confirm light content for August. And that's kind of painful to read, to be honest with you. I definitely wish the success for these MMO companies, but it says here that the game's population, as with the current check of Steam charts, sees a single person playing right now with a 24-hour peak of only 2 people. Man, that is rough, I will have to admit. It does seem like they're going to give very light content updates in the coming month, but it doesn't help that it seems like there hasn't been really any updates since July, and so I'm not exactly sure what's going on with the company. I still wish them the best and much success, but man, they're just... I feel like they're very discouraged right now. The morale is probably very low within the company. And in their next article, Past Fate's Kickstarter run was successful, just making its $25,000 goal. And as far as I can tell, they actually just barely achieved this goal right at the end of the campaign, so good on them for accomplishing their goal. And if you want to know a little bit more about this game, I did cover it, I believe, last week, so I'll have a link to that in the cards in the upper right-hand corner if you're curious. Next, let's head on over to MMORPG.com for 2 articles. And the first one here, Eve Echoes has surpassed 1 million players. And if you don't know what Eve Echoes is, it's the mobile version of Eve Online, but they're completely 2 separate games, so there's no cross-platform play or anything like that, and it's actually set in a different universe with a different storyline and of such. So I've actually gave it a try for a day. I didn't play too long, but from what I can remember, the graphics are still very impressive. And in their next article, Elder Scrolls Online Stonethorn DLC and Update 27 patch notes has been released. Patch notes for Elder Scrolls Online's latest DLC, Stonethorn, has released alongside a swath of new features and fixes. Dungeons, item sets, and new achievements are available in this 5.86 gigabyte update. And lastly, we'll go ahead and cover some of the articles from Gameatsu.com. And the first one here, Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes United Hero Attack gameplay sneak peek has been released. And if that name kind of sounds familiar, it's because it's, I guess, a spiritual successor to the Suikoden series made by the same developers, but a completely different game and different company. And at the press time, as it goes on to say, it has been funded to $3.2 million of its initial $509,000 goal. And it will be released in 2022. So lots of good news for JRPG fans out there. And in their next article, Romance of the Three Kingdoms 14 Diplomacy and Strategy Expansion Pack bundle announced for the PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. A lot of you guys who grew up with the Dynasty Warrior series might be interested in this, as from what I could tell, the Dynasty Warriors franchise was based on these particular Chinese novels, but correct me if I'm wrong about that, but it is a strategy RPG, not a hack and slash game, but it is expected to be due out in Japan in December 10th, with an early 2021 in the West. And in their next article, and this is for all the Warhammer 40k fans out there, but Necromunda Underhive Wars Environments trailer has been released, and this trailer takes a look at the game's 26 maps. And that concludes today's episode of MMO and RPG Updates. I really do appreciate it if you made it with me so far, because the watch time absolutely helps with the algorithms. And if you feel as though I have earned your subscription, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell notification icon right next to it. With all that being said, I will finally let you guys go. Hope you guys have a blessed night, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers again, everyone.